Here's the thing. Dyeing fabric or other textiles with hibiscus flowers is pretty simple. But the question is, will the color last over time and with washing? That's what I'm going to explore in this video. The main way that I dye textiles with hibiscus flowers is gathering the flowers that have fallen from the plant, tear them into pieces, put them in a jar with some water, and then allow the sun to heat the water up. And then once I see the color start to come from the flowers, I insert the fabric. But you can also use flowers directly from the plant, and you can also put the fabric in at the same time that you put in the petals. I recently uploaded a video showing how I make aluminum acetate to be used as a mordant, and so I inserted the clip here to show you the fabrics that I'm going to be dyeing with hibiscus have been soaked in this. There's some footage somewhere that I've deleted by mistake or misplaced of me actually putting the fabric in the jar, but you can see it in there. There are 3 different pieces of fabric inside this jar already. Notice that even though all 3 of these are in the same jar, each has a slightly different color, and that has to do with a mordant that was used. Okay, that's pretty good. So I'll hang them up and just see how these pieces are looking tomorrow. But so far this looks really nice, this purple color that I got from the hibiscus. I think this one would have been more pink, but it was in there with these 2 pieces that had been soaking in some solution that had the aluminum acetate in it. So okay, so just a really quick update about the status of these fabric pieces. It's been a few days since I first dyed them, rinsed them, and hung them up to dry. And as you can see, the color is still there. I mean, it's not as bold as what it was when they first came out of the jars, but color is still here. And this is significant because I've dyed many things with hibiscus flowers, and I have not used a mordant as consistently in the past. So the process I did with using the aluminum acetate plus tannin seems to have had some sort of effect on the color fastness and how long this color has lasted these past few days. Literally in the past, when I've done this without using mordant, I would rinse them, squeeze them out a few times, and all of the color would be gone within, you know, like a minute. So I think the fact that these still have some color is really good. And just so that's the thing to be mindful of, is that even though you won't necessarily have the same color you got as soon as you took them out of the jars, you can still have color with these with using hibiscus. And time will tell how long even this will last. It could eventually fade over time, but I think this speaks a lot to the fact that it still has some color, speaks a lot to the process of pre-treating the fabrics with the mordant. This piece here is a light pink tint. I don't think you can see this clearly in the video as it is here. This one is purple, light purple, lavender. And then this one is almost like a blue color, but it's like grayish purple, sort of blue. And I think that's really good for hibiscus. Ooh, it's windy out here. We're like, in the tropical storm out here in Hawaii. But I was like, let me go out here and try to record this really quickly. Because I had originally made video, but I wanted to just kind of update since it's been 2 to 3 days later now. So I'm just under the porch trying to do this, and it's windy. But yeah, so that's kind of that's my result of what has happened with this. If you're going to use hibiscus, just do your best to pre-treat it with mordant, and monitor the color and see how it lasts for you over the course of a few days. I think this is something you can use in your dyeing processes. One of the plants you can use with good results. All right. And these clips were just inserted here as reminders of how the fabrics looked when they came out of the jars. But these are actually different jars than the original one that I used, but it's the same process and same color, so you have an idea of how those pieces started out. I decided I'm going to put some swatches out here from those larger pieces and see how they do in the sun today. And this will, kind of give you an idea of how fabric can fade over time with exposure to sun. The pieces that you're making, if it's clothing or anything, even like a scarf or anything like that, it can fade in the sun. And I'm going to leave these out here and see just within the next couple of hours how exposure to the sun is going to affect these colors. I've been out in the sun for several hours today since I last recorded, and they're actually still holding up in terms of color. So I think maybe that has something to do with the mordant that I used as to why, because I know in the past I would have things that I dyed with hibiscus fade pretty quickly, so if left in the sun, I mean. So the fact that this is still pretty much the same color it was when I recorded earlier, I just got it wet right here, but it's the same color as when I recorded earlier. I think that's pretty good. This one too, and this one is still the same very light pink that it was before. So putting these out in the sun after going through the process of doing the aluminum acetate mordant along with the tannin solution, and then dyeing them in hibiscus seems to help the process, or help them maintain their color. So that's something to keep in mind. And this clip shows how the pieces look after being washed in the machine with warm water and gentle detergent. So you can see the color faded pretty significantly on a few of the pieces, including the geometric print one and this one here that used to be light pink. Now it's pretty much white again. So you can see how it looks after being machine washed. In general, I think hibiscus flowers are good to use for fabric dyeing. Just be mindful of the fact that with time the color could fade, and also with washing via machine. So if you keep that in mind and maybe alter your use of your textiles to account for that, you may have a better result and be able to enjoy some of the nice colors you can get from using hibiscus flowers. So thanks so much for watching this video.